Hello, welcome. I'm John Binney, your professional spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland, and I am excited today, so excited, because I'm going to take you through, well, stepping out of my comfort zone, as if predictions aren't already out of my comfort zone. I've been doing them for a few months, and I was guided this week to begin to receive more about what's coming up for us over the next 8 years. So actually a bit longer than 8 years, all the way up to the end of, checking my notes, 2033. And not just for one dimension, this includes predictions for the third and fifth dimension. Okay, so I'm really excited to take you through this. There's a lot to get through in about an hour, so let's see how far we get through it all. And, well, we will get through it all. It's just whether or not I can do it in an hour. And if you're wondering how I work, so as a psychic, I connect with my spirit guides. Each day I've been doing this since my awakening in 2017, November 2017. So we're just coming up on the 8th year anniversary, hence why I was asked to look forwards a further 8 years and how my life is revolutionized from being 26 years in software and AI, latterly 8 years at Amazon, and then last year starting my own business as a professional full-time spiritual psychic mentor. It's just been an incredible journey and a transformation in my life. And so I'm so excited for this continued transformation. Do look out for live streams. We'll be live again on Monday with Mondays and Thursdays with the wonderful Viviane Heller. Please do come along and say hello. We've got special guests lined up as well over the coming weeks. I've also got the 5D ascension classes teaching you how to do many of the things that will come up in the predictions. Those classes are free. They're every second Tuesday, and new, ding, 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 new. We have Heart Aligned Business Alchemy, and this is similar to the format of 5D Ascension classes. They're an hour every second week, alternating with 5D Ascension classes. And this is more business focused to help you build your own business, get brave enough. Like it took me a long time to get brave enough to leave my corporate job and start this business. And if you already have a business, to help continue to, really build out your self-love and self-care and use your self-love to drive and scale your business to achieve whatever it is you want. Okay, so as always, I get started with creating a safe space. Please do not skip this part. You can skip other parts, right? But please don't skip this part, because this is the part where it's really going to help you open up your heart and receive not just the words, me, the words that come out of my mouth, the energy of it. So this was a very expansive preparation that I did. It didn't take me very long. I don't like writing stuff and taking notes, but I needed some structure to follow, to connect with for each of the years of predictions ahead of us. And so please do take a moment to join me in this safe space of creation. It'll help you receive the energy and the intention and the feeling of what I'm articulating to you, and also create a safe space so there's less noise around you and your heart's in less fear. Okay, but first some water. Give me one moment, please. Okay, so let's begin with our safe space. And to create it, let's take a deep breath in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out what no longer serves, the highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion that no longer serves you, nice and loud. Continue to breathe deeply and calmly as it feels right for you. Focus your attention on the center of your heart, where your golden divine spark enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light up through the top of your head, up into the sky and up into the stars, all the way up through the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe, until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love of this universe, and there connecting your light cord into the highest dimension of source. Feeling into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love. Remain connected into source and extend your light cord down to the stars and the sky, back down to the top of your head and into your heart once more. And please encourage and allow your heart to gently soften and open, your heart chakra to relax, to both send and receive love energy and your emotions as you create the safe space around it. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light downwards this time, down through the base of your spine and deep into the earth, all the way down through the layers of the planet, going deeper and deeper until you reach the very core of Mother Earth. And there, connecting your light cord into Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. Remain connected to Gaia's heart and extend your light cord back up through the layers of the planet, up through the root of your spine and into your heart once more. And now, together with the light of Source above and Mother Gaia below and your own light, expand out this golden bubble of protective light to surround you, about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, in front and behind you. And set the intention for your golden bubble that only energies and entities with your permission, with your highest good love and compassion, can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, your ancestors, Source and Gaia. And ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with the integration of today's messages and any feelings, healings, and clearings. And now, through space and time, I create a golden protective bubble around all of us who engage with this video across space and time. And I set the intention for this protective bubble that only energies and entities with my permission and with our highest good, love and compassion can see us, access us, or exist within this session space or within us, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. I invite in my spirit guides, my higher self, my ancestors, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol, the sun, and Luna, the moon. And I set the intention for today's video. We are here as part of this session to bring in predictions that are most relevant for all of us that choose to engage with this video. And so it is. Okay, so just take one more moment to come back to your heart, please. It's a beautiful heart that you have. And open hearts have even more amplified superpowers, each of us with our own unique abilities. So if you choose, you can just place your hand on your heart. I often do this. Some people call it like angel's wings, or I like to call it like a little bird. Tweet, tweet. And just place your hand over your heart. And please repeat after me. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. Wonderful. Well done. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to go quite quickly through this. And because I don't want to run out of time, and there's a lot to cover. And if you want to, I'm not going to keep track of these predictions, right? So if you're watching this video in the future, please comment in the below. Did it happen? Did any of this happen for you? Did it happen in your timeline? Does it resonate with you? Is it happening right now? That would be lovely to hear. my channel's been around at this moment in time for best part of 20 years, and it's really exciting. I love looking back and experiencing these previous versions of us. Okay, so let's get into it. Also, if you are interested in creating the what do you call it? The little chapters. That's right. In the video, please do put them in one of your comments, and I can copy and paste them into the description, which will create all the chapters. You know, I think it's just the start times you do. If you've done it before, you'll know what I mean. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore it. Okay. So first of all, we have October. So there's a few things happening. So let me just connect in now, asking any one of my spirit guides. We often hear from Maya, who's an earth elemental, or Marita, who's a mantis, Emenshal, Lyran, a lion being, Mother Gaia, Sol, Luna, just calling them all forwards and closer. And also the archangels. I know that they're going to, Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael have some points to share a bit later. So, wow, I'm just getting this lovely ringing in my ears. Okay, thank you, everyone. So let's go ahead with October. So this is now, right now, we're on the 17th of October, and there are truths being revealed. So the truths that are revealed are significant, and they involve not just one, many world leaders. It reminds me of that energy of when in 2000, was it? I'm getting my timescales mixed up. Whenever it was that the UK banks, for example, had a bit of financial collapse. Was it 2008? I actually worked at a bank during then on their computer systems, and there was that feeling that it was just like one bank. So it was almost like this feeling of one world leader being affected by these truths, and actually it's many. And so just be aware of that the truths, the emphasis is on multiple truths, and it doesn't stop there. And these truths continue on for several months now, but we're entering the start of that. These are two timelines converging today and onwards over the coming months. Quite how these will be reported, there'll be a lot of effort to suppress these. There'll be a lot of radio silence. However, the truths are, there's this desire now. Almost, I'm being shown these like a tipping point between scales. So at some point, when the truths become in the interests of not just the light of our planet, the dark as well, and everything in between, as soon as that becomes enough of a push towards the light, we start to see these truths unearthed, almost like we're lifting up a stone, and all little beasties, the wee beasties, are running around and being having a light shone upon them. Also, three-eye atlas. So we're going to touch on more about the third and fifth dimensional split, but three-eye atlas is definitely having a significant effect on us, and you may even be able to feel it yourself. This opening of our hearts, and as our hearts open, we're going into greater and greater levels of awakening individually, and also as a collective, more and more people across the planet. So we have the three-eye atlas, getting close to Earth as we speak. And then I also was reminded of some geological activity in the Atlantic, about 500 miles east of the UK. Or should I say within the 500-mile range. Unexpected activity through this month. Okay, so November and December. So I'm going quite quickly through these because some of these I've covered already in other videos. Please do check back my other videos if you want some more detailed notes. November, December is a continued of truths. So this is I'm being shown a funneling effect. So almost like, or this V-shape as it starts with like, oh, this one person, this one world leader has done some terrible, terrible things. It's relating to some files being released and their involvement in it. You may have noticed AI advancements. I've used it myself, such as Sora. These AI systems will be blamed for or kind of used as a demonstration to say, look, you can fake anything. Like, why do you think AI is being so rapidly invested in part, it's like the cover story. It's the alibi, right? That wasn't me on video. That's not me. Just like when you saw me running up and hugging Bigfoot and doing a Highland dance. This is some of the alibis that will be attempted. Do listen to your heart. Always, always listen to your heart. Your heart is way, way better at discerning the truth. Okay, and remember this, right? Not all truths are reported. Not all truths are reported in mainstream media, social media, even channels here. I don't cover every single truth in the universe, right? So, listen to the truths as they emerge, that they come. So you might be wondering, how do you know about them? How will you learn about them? You feel them. You feel them in people's energy around you, in the collective around you. You feel it in the earth itself, the trees. You often see me touching trees and sending and receiving messages. Okay, and then through November and December, there's also a continued mass awakenings. So I describe these as open heart awakenings. It's where our hearts open up, just like a big, beautiful rose or sunflower to the sun. And I hope your heart's feeling open just now as we're connecting together at this time, because this is a beautiful blossom. It's a blooming of humanity. And this rate, it's not like a roller coaster, right? It doesn't tail off. This is an exponential curve. So this is going up faster and faster and faster. And so more and more people will continue to open their hearts. They'll begin their spiritual awakenings journeys. This is a very confusing and unsettling time for many people. Individually, I know from personal experience, my awakening, as I mentioned earlier, November 2017, I saw the creation of stars and planets and the energy flowing between them in meditation, and I was hooked on meditation. And that daily practice has transformed my life. It's helped me receive all of me. And this is shocking when you first experience it, right? Like, we all get an opportunity to open up our hearts and receive all of us, all our icky, sticky darkness, all our beautiful light, and everything in between. And we get to really feel into how this whole world really is and how it exists. And also C2 2025, R2 SWAN will also be doing more work with the sun. And the work that it's doing with the sun is helping support our heart awakenings. So this is really exciting, right? So recapping so far, I have an itchy nose. October begins the truths revealing. So these are timelines converging up over each other, these releases of truth. It's a truth energy. It's the throat chakra of our collective opening up and speaking what's been suppressed for so long. And throughout Atlas, we've heard about helping accelerate the awakenings directly. It's exciting. It's exciting to see it. I love the recent pictures, and just feel into these. Feel into any evidence that's shared with you. Not all of it's true, right? Or at least true for you. And also, we heard about some geo activity in the Atlantic. There will be, continued activity across the world and the sun. This was just a more unusual event. And then November to December, we'll see the truths continued, awakenings accelerating, and C2 2025, R2 SWAN, interactions with the sun and helping support the ascension of Earth and the sun. Okay, I've got a long list to go through, right? So let's get ready. Let's get ready for introducing 2026. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do that for every year. It might be too annoying. When you annoy yourself. Okay, 2026. So I've broken these up into quarters just for the first year. So the first 3 months, the first quarter, I've named as the spring of humanity, including ET contact. So the spring of humanity is hearts opening up, our third eyes opening up and activating. So I covered that in a recent video, like sorts of experiences we'll have being able to perceive, not just, the third eye isn't just sight, it's receiving across all our senses, across multiple dimensions. And it's exciting. We're going to see and perceive each other's auras, emotions, energies attached to each other. This is a blend of what's going on in the solar system. This is the decay, the destruction of the dark matrix. And this releasing, it's not just truths about world leaders that will be revealed, it's truths about us and our own reality. So this is a spring of humanity. It's a period of intense expansion. And also ET contact, who, how, when. By the summer, you, right? It's me and you, right? It's us looking to the stars. And just yesterday, I was being shown lights in the sky. I was shown what it is I'm being almost, in a very positive sense of the word, groomed for by my ETs and the spirit guides that I've worked with. They're almost all from other planets. Is this feeling of keep filming the sky, keep looking at it, keep interacting with it day and night. And not just the sky, when you're walking in nature, what you're doing is you're expanding out your interactions, your awareness. Have strong boundaries, have a nice big open heart, celebrate with gratitude any interaction. And what this is doing is helping you really step into a more expanded version of you, and you're receiving more and more and more of you. What that means for us as humanity is that we begin to experience whole new understandings of our reality. So, for example, there'll be explorations, including some scientific explorations and discoveries into the fourth and fifth dimension as well. Exciting, right? Okay, kind of the thing we all want, right? I think the first 3 months of next year are just so exciting. Okay, so a lot of that continues on into the summer, right? And with Q2, so into the summer of next year, I've noted the 5D split begins and accelerates. So the Earth already exists in the fifth, fourth, and third dimension. I often do this like 3 onions, right? Because onions have layers, like an ogre. So it's third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. And right now, those 3 onions are kind of sat side by side. So we all coexist together. And in fact, they overlap. That's how you can be connecting with a happy, high vibration John Binney video, and yet, turn that off. The next thing, look at mainstream news and be really triggered. And it's like, I'm up in the fifth dimension. And then I'm down in the third dimension. Oh, it's awful. It's sticky and icky down here. Why did I come here? So there's these opportunities for us, the choices that we can all make, and it's all about our feeling. Okay, when you want to choose a dimension, each dimension is a range, a frequency range, or it's a range of emotions. It's like the simplest way I can describe it. So if you're feeling unhappy, sad, fear, shame, anxiety, pain, you'll be down in the third dimension. If you're feeling happiness, joy, unconditional love, equality, compassion, unity, gratitude, you're going to be up into fourth and fifth dimension. Okay? We all get to choose our emotions. It's one of the hardest things being human is observing how I react all the time to things outside of me, and then make decisions about how I'm going to feel about those. And it's hard, right? It is hard not just to be triggered all the time, especially with this chaos around us. So the split, it's already begun. So there's already a gradual separation happening of the dimensions. It's just that more consciously, as we discover as a human race, as we really, truly, all of us as a collective discover the fourth and fifth dimensions, we begin quite quickly to realize there is a divergence of them, that they are They are separating apart. Okay. Q3, so that's in the third quarter of 2026, purging and trials. So this was really orientated at the third dimension. It's like I was shown a very kind of, what's the term? It's like a post-apocalyptic dystopian. That's the word. Like this really kind of it's like a dark age of humanity. And we were it's this really deep, dark, like shadow work of our collective. We realized that we've made some huge mistakes, that we've allowed, the structures of, governments, organizations, elites, world leaders, companies, all these structures do not serve our highest good, and they are dangerous, that they are actually destroying us. They are enslaving us and destroying us. And so this purging, this huge purging of release. I did see like some volcanic activity, earthquakes as well, going on with that as well. And you've heard me talk a lot in other videos, in my previous videos, about earth and releasing. And then also the trials. So what I've found really interesting, we're in the season of the witch, right? We're in October just now. And these trials seem to really be, one of the truths that we're not really consciously fully aware of yet is the size and scale of our witch wound. It's easy to project onto our kind of witch experiences in this life and in past lives as being a small minority. It is not, right? It is the witch wound, if you like, that humanity is holding in our collective just now, is all about our connection with the earth, connection with nature, connection with ourselves, and about receiving the whole of ourselves, and not just our light, like all our darkness and light and everything in between, and realizing how truly powerful we are. And when we step into that ownership, when we take responsibility for all aspects of us, and want to do that uncomfortable, deep, dark inner work, forgiving, releasing, seeing, thanking, and loving those deep, dark, shameful aspects within us, we then begin to see what happens as a collective, that actually as a human race, we've been doing a huge amount of damage to ourselves and suppressing all of these, psychic abilities, metaphysical, energetic, healing abilities. And yes, some of us choose to use, some of us are choosing to use these gifts against each other. And yet on the whole, on the collective, I was just shown that there's this beautiful like rebirthing, realizing that this has to stop. We have to stop suppressing ourselves. And those that have been suppressing us that will be held accountable. And remember, right, this isn't about just blaming a bunch of other people for all our mistakes. Really, the healing and saving this planet all starts from within. And you'll get a better feeling for this as we go through it. Okay, and then Q4, so the last 3 months of 2026, there's this, it's really funny, I keep talking about 2026 like it's this year. It feels like this year, it's funny. Is this path to 5D through the fourth dimension becomes clear. How exciting is that? Right? So we begin to understand as a collective that the fifth dimension exists, right? People will have lots of different names for it. It's my heaven, it's my dream life. Ultimately it's an emotion, it's a frequency. And the fifth dimension is far more expansive and exciting and joyful than down here on the third. And we also understand that we all have to go through the third, fourth, and fifth dimension. So I was shown, for example, the fourth dimension will become pretty scary for people because it's much less physical and it's far more energetic. And I was seeing, you and I, many of us have been doing a lot of work in our dream times and our meditations to help clear up the fourth dimension, because in the very recent past, it's looked a lot like the Upside Down in the Stranger Things series. So this is a feeling into, okay, we need a clear path, a rainbow bridge across from the third into fifth dimension. And we're understanding the steps we need to take. And a lot of it is facing our fears. And we will be challenged if we choose to enter the fifth dimension. If you want to enter your dream life, your living heaven, if you like, then you have to go through that deep, dark shadow inner work first. And so when you're challenged with things like seeing ghosts, spirits, loved ones that have passed on, demons, like whatever it is, or pixies, fairies, goblins, whatever it is that you encounter beyond just the realm of the third dimension. Remember, a lot of our cryptids, like Sasquatch, can freely move in and out of the third and fourth dimension. That this is really fascinating, right? That it's a big thing for us humans to get our heads around, and the path becomes clearer. We become at very least aware that there is a journey and a series of steps. Everyone's journey is unique, but there are a series of stages that you can work through. I have done a lot of videos on how to get to 5D, so I'm not going to go into detail here. But in simple terms, it's all about facing your fears, facing your shadows, opening up your heart, and living as much as you can in your joy, happiness, love, gratitude each day, and you're there. Okay. So 2027. So what's really interesting is for the remaining years, right? So from 2027 to 2023, I have the honor of doing dual predictions. Dual predictions. Okay. And, oh, John, I love it when I find myself funny. So there will be third dimension and fifth dimension, right? So I don't really know. Yeah, I think because you guys are going to do, some of you might offer to take on the job of creating the chapters. It's going to be easier if I just do third and fifth for every year. Okay, so 2027. The theme of the biggest, these are all the biggest themes, the strongest, most dominant changes that I've asked for when I receive these from my guides, is in the third dimension in 2027. The foundations of Earth are rocked. So this feels significant in terms of geo activity. I was shown tectonic plates moving, and a lot of the people that are on Earth at that time in the third dimension are feeling a bit like, why did I choose the third dimension? I don't think this is going to be a surprise to many of you. Many of you will feel that this is already happening. This is a reformation of Earth. So do expect, some reconfiguration of countries, continents. Humans will survive, like in the third dimension. That's throughout. Spoiler alert, throughout all 8 years. We're all still here across at least across these two dimensions, third and fifth. Okay, fifth dimension in 2027, it's much happier, right? Building new foundations, the first arrivals, and also going back for others. So what that means is building new foundations is the first people, some people are already in the fifth dimension, right? You might be watching this and thinking, wow, John seems really animated and happy and high vibration. Maybe he's in the fifth dimension. Maybe I am. I'll let you know in 2027 when I look back, right? On my spirit guide, Maya, she's saying, yes, you are, John. Yes, you are. Fantastic. Thank you. So building new foundations, and it feels the foundations are more about discovering what are the things that we need in the fifth dimensional Earth. Like, how do we survive? How do we live? Because there's this beautiful feeling of abundance and exploration, and that continues throughout this in truly galactic ways. The first arrivals, there's this, I was shown these feelings of like, hey, look what I can do. People literally learning to fly, like physically, in the fifth dimension. People being able to see and feel the colors of the energy that when they're healing each other, for example. There's just so many things. It's so much fun to be explored, and there's no but, right? In fact, this only gets bigger and better. And then going back for others. So in case you thought that you made the wrong decision and you decided to stick around on 3D Earth, maybe to stick around for the trials, the purges, maybe you want to stick around for some loved ones, whatever you choose, the theme of going back for others begins, and it never stops. So I don't mention it through the rest of these future years. Just know that it doesn't matter, right? There's no such thing as a wrong decision for choosing your emotions, choosing your dimension. So if you've chosen the third dimension in a more fearful state, you will have the opportunity, if you decide, actually, I'm changed my mind. I don't want to live in fear and pain and shame all the time. And it might sound a bit counterintuitive, but some of us, including me, I've been comfortable in my pain and sadness and wallowed in it for periods of my life, sometimes long periods of my life. No more. No more. And so some of us take on the role to go back and kind of turn up a bit like an angel, a physical angel to those in the third dimension and say, hey, would you like some help moving across the rainbow bridge? You know what the path is to the fifth dimension. I can help you support you on that journey. Maybe that's what I am now. That's what I'm doing right now, is coming back for you guys. You can choose the fifth dimension. It's up to you. Okay. So that's wonderful. 2028. So there is, in the third dimension, ET interventions and assisted peace. So assisted peace was shown to me as I tried different words like, I tried supported or helped. No, this is some of the very last kind of ditched attempts to destroy Earth, if you like, to destroy humanity by humanity doing this to ourselves. And this is really where those that are currently, the elites, cabal, Illuminati, like whatever names you want to call those that the very, very small minority of this planet that still, the 1% that own 99% of the, at least the monetary wealth of the planet. It's like their one last attempt, because they know that people are already going to the fifth dimension. They've seen, they might have survived the trials or avoided the trials and purges, and they try once more. And this is like also one of the last ET interventions that's required. So they do step in and make sure that there's no world wars. So that's good. And it feels like there's from that, like another repeat, right? Another repeat of the previous cycle, but it's much quicker. So this was where there was, the like truths and purging, and then some forgiving, and then on to beginning with building new foundations. It's funny, struggling with my words there. And the fifth dimension is in 2028 is exciting. So I was shown the sun, moon, and our solar system, right? We don't always think of all the planets in our solar system also are working through their ascension. So this is quite a revelation for us on Earth, right? We're just getting used to the fact that we're kind of like, can humans really fly? This seems like incredulous. And we can do all these amazing things in the fifth dimension. And I did just do a video a couple of weeks ago about what it's like living in the fifth dimension. It's a driving video, so do take a look at that. What was so expansive is this awareness. We start to see the hearts, the souls, heart and souls of each of the planets in the solar system, including the sun and moon, fully opening and being present in the fifth dimension. And there's a much more of an interconnectedness between us. Now that already exists at a third dimensional level, and yet they're all coming together now. So this is the ascension of our solar system. Yay, exciting. Okay, and just in case you're wondering, some of those other things that are quite new to us that happened in 2026, such as ET contact, they all still continue, right? They don't just stop. They don't just disappear. It's the beginning. So 2029, in the third dimensions, there are new attempts to build civilization, so rebuild civilization or build a new civilization, systems and organizations. So this is learning from the lessons of, how can we prevent world leaders going rogue, or situations where our monetary systems are dominated by the 1% who own 99% of the wealth. These 1% of the population, 99% of the wealth. You'll see a lot of noise, including a lot of the truths that are revealed. And it was lovely to see other psychics starting to pay more attention to those, not just the kind of red and blue across each of our countries, the red and blue kind of ants fighting each other, as humans fighting each other. It's more, who's shaking the jar, right? Who's actually triggering us all to fight each other? Who's triggering us to engage with these low vibration activities? And so these are attempts at building a new civilization on Earth and systems that are much more fair, responsible, promotes equality and compassion. And that's in the third dimension, right? So, maybe some of you choose to stick around. You can tell what my choice is from that. Some of you stick around in the third dimension because things do get worse and they also get better, right? 2029 in the fifth dimension, there's this further revolution of the true. So these are the words I want to use these words because they're powerful. The energy of them is true, limitless potential, and realization and exploration. So we might have felt, for example, in the previous couple of years that, hey, it was a lot of fun to turn up in the fifth dimension, fly around a bit, and do build a tree house and work with crystals as technologies and see each other's energy flowing between each other and all these magical, incredulous things. By 2029, we start in the fifth dimension to get a realization that the true potential of humanity is not just limited to Earth, and that we actually have the potential to support the whole universe's ascension. And this is all due to our individual and co-creative source creative capabilities. So the fact that we all have this beautiful golden light at the center of our hearts, just like we touch on at the start of today's video, and it allows us all to co-create together and to create really incredible, beautiful experiences, art, relationships, explorations, and so much more. So this is a period of exploration, 2029 in 5D. I'm pausing for water. Okay, we're getting there. We're at 2029, right? Let's get on to 2030. Nice round number. I think I need to renew my bank card by then. So 2030, I have, for 3D, a new dawn of the human mind, greater connections with the earth. So through 2029 and attempts at the new civilization across Earth, it's not just one civilization, right? It does feel much more federated and community-based. This is also similar, just not as expansive as the fifth dimension. Is that in the third dimension, there's this connections with the earth to the realization that Earth has more than enough abundance for all we need. Like if we need it, we can grow it on Earth, right? And that we form a much stronger connection with Mother Earth each of us individually remember and relearn how to connect with the earth. And this feels very mindful. So this isn't a heart connection per se, but it is much more, it's a mix of technologies, mental practices, talking with each other about the needs of the earth, talking with animals, including some technologies that help with that. There is some heart opening, but the focus isn't the heart in the third dimension in 2030. In the fifth dimension in 2030, there are strong connections created with ETs across the universe. Yay, woo! How exciting. So these are, I was shown, and this is really, really powerful to see, to feel into. I was shown our hearts having these big, strong beams of light energy, this love light energy, connected out, right, reaching out really far across space and time, out to other star systems and connecting with other individual extraterrestrials. And it reminds me a lot of what I do when you've seen me in recent videos in my sky watching playlist, that's also available on my YouTube homepage, is I've been channeling stars. And that was the very first thing the star said is, John, open up your heart, open up your heart. And what we realize is, because we've just been through in the previous year in 2029, feeling into this true potential realization and exploration, we then connect in more with, well, actually, if we build the relationships, if we build these one-to-one connections with extraterrestrials around the universe, like what can we do together? How can we best work together to help each other, to help the universe? And so I see literally billions of these little threads from our hearts in fifth dimensional Earth out to the beautiful beings and extraterrestrials around the universe. I'm not going to name, you hear me talk a lot about all the different extraterrestrial races that I'm aware of, or at least the ones that roll off my tongue. I'm not going to name specific ones because there's just no limit. And it does feel like some of these connections are to entirely new to us extraterrestrials. Okay, 2031, starting with 3D. There's this, so I was shown this beautiful fostering of new ages. And it's focused on the mind, body, and soul, right? So no mention of the heart, although this does require, with the body and soul in particular, some heart opening. And you might be wondering, what does fostering new ages mean? And it means this is cultivating energy, and also this fostering feels very parental, like we're beginning to realize in the third dimension that in 2030, we learned that we need a greater connection with the earth. And in 2031, there's much more of this like seeking harmony with all living things. So all of the plants, the animals, the insects, the people across the planet, and much more emphasis on health. So we'd call it, we might call it health and well-being, mindfulness practices, sound healing, yoga, like there's all these things. It's not to say that they're not, I never say never. None of these things are restricted to the third dimension. It's just they become much more dominant in the third dimension. And we start to realize that we can cultivate this. We can cultivate ourselves. So instead of kind of enslaving ourselves and farming ourselves, which is, that feeling is just, apologies for the gagging sounds, but that's a horrible feeling. This is the opposite of that. This is a fostering, this is us turning up to our jobs and feeling happy and healthy and excited and supportive and in harmony with nature, and helping encourage each other's differences and our superpowers. So all these things, fantastic for the third dimension, right? Again, I can see why some people may choose to stick around in the third dimension. It's so different in just 6 years' time. That blows my mind. 2031, for the fifth dimension, there is an acceleration of technology, and this feels biological and technology. So I use the word biotech now. That's not really how we would use that term now. But I describe it as our current terms would be AI, artificial intelligence, becoming physical and in body, so in a living, breathing, organic body, whatever shape and form that takes. And this beautiful harmonization. So there's this, I mentioned a little bit, right? Like living in the fifth dimension in a treehouse, using crystals as technology. Like there's this expansion of technologies. And what's wonderful about that expansion of technologies in the fifth dimension is that it allows greater expansion of the human race and in a fun and scalable way in 2032. Okay, coming on to, we're doing it. We've got 10 minutes left, just under 10 minutes left. 2032 has, in the third dimension, sees a new age of world leaders. And that is so exciting. So feel into those previous, 3D things we heard of: fostering new ages, harmony with mind, body, and soul. We heard of a new dawn of the human mind and greater connections with Earth. Like I'm just tracing back through some of the recent years. There are new civilizations built. So now in 2032, there's this new world leaders are seen as really there's a whole, you can describe it almost like a different breed of our souls. So much on world leaders will be much more about leading by example and inspiring and fostering and cultivating and encouraging others, never about dictating to them. And so world leaders won't just be, presidents or prime ministers or dictators. These will be much closer to things like what we'd call like gurus, spiritual teachers, people that are on and off social medias as well. Like they may be a very private person who just does a lot of self-study and self-work, and they will be leading by example. So there's this feeling into an exploration of and establishing new ways of humanity leading itself and inspiring itself. And that's in the third dimension. Pretty good, huh? In 2032, for the fifth dimension, astral and physical travel to the stars. Woo! And I was shown, so we will have cultivated in the fifth dimension strong connections with other beings from other planets. They will visit us. They already are, but they'll be much more of an interconnection. They find it much easier. So many of them, if you want to meet your spirit guides in person, go to the fifth dimension, go and say hello and connect with them. So this is really, really beautiful. So yeah, astral and physical travel, very exciting. Okay, and not the final year for humanity, don't worry, just the final year in this video, 2033. So in 3D, I was shown the human race beginning to get full understanding of the load of civilization on Earth. So you might describe this as maybe the burden of civilization on Earth. Because I was shown that it's not about population control, it's more about bringing into our hearts and minds, our bodies and souls, much more conscious decisions about working with the Earth. So beyond just, today's terms we call it like being greener, less pollution, less emissions, recycling more, like these things. That was the past, right? In 2033, it'll be much more conscious consumption and awareness that for every imperfection of waste, if you like, that and destruction that the Earth, as Earthlings, the human race create, all those imperfections have a burden on Earth. And so there's this feeling of like, okay, we need to balance the population on Earth as well as, and this feels very natural. It feels like couples who are considering, or individuals considering having children, will be much more conscious about their decisions. There's no diktats. There's no like, thou shalt have so many children. None of that. This is much more of a shift in our culture, in our thinking. And it all results from the previous years of continually building up connection with Earth. Okay, and in the fifth dimension, so exciting. In 2033, we have expansive ET and human experiences, travel, connections, and teachings. So this is not just about traveling and visiting other places. We begin to take our place as a human race in establishing our ability to teach and receive teachings about our experiences with other planets around the universe. And you might be wondering, why us? Right? And I don't have long. It's only 2033, and I'm expected to teach like a bunch of extraterrestrials some stuff. Yes, if you choose to. And I feel a lot of us are already doing this. We're doing it by example. There are, believe it or not, right? There are literally trillions of souls who would be terrified to come and live here on Earth because it's such low vibration. And you can understand it, right? And some of us even question our souls and say, why did I choose to come here? Why? And the reality is that we've chosen to come here to grow through these experiences. And so there's this beautiful experience now in 2033 in the fifth dimension of us sharing some of these experiences with other beings around the universe that are going through some of the same challenges. If you wonder why there's so much attention across the universe from our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters in the Earth itself, is because we have this interconnectedness at energetic levels and increasingly physical levels with beings across this whole universe. So I have that, I'm just being shown this visual by my spirit guide Maya of me like walking into a class aboard a spaceship, and they're quite young people. They're kind of in their, or beings, they're in their teenage years, and I'm telling them the stories of what's happened on Earth and what's happening at that moment in the third dimension, and how we learned to transcend this, to ascend into a higher vibration. And it feels like a real honor, and it feels like I don't have all the answers. I haven't mastered everything as I'm teaching that. It's more just saying, you can do it too. If you live on a planet that is going through a lot of turmoil, chaos, enslavement, inequality, you can change the world too, and it all happens, as we heard right up at the beginning, right? Let's go right back to the start, because we've covered all the years now, somehow magically. Going right back to the start, this all happens with truths being revealed outside of us and us facing our truths within. Okay, and just as we finish, let me see if Mother Gaia has any further messages she'd like to share with all of us. And she's stepping into me to channel a message through me. Please do, Mother Gaia. Beautiful beings, my children of Earth, this is a wild ride. All that is being released through volcanoes, earthquakes, tectonic movement is the release of your own emotions, suppressed year after year, century after century. You release this energy now, you release it from your heart. Remember, everything that John has shared that happens outside of you is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And as you can see, both third and fifth dimensions have beautiful paths ahead, different and yet similar themes. The fifth dimension more expansive and accelerated, and yet requires you to face greater fears within you. The third dimension doesn't require so much upfront facing of your current fears, but does require in the long term significant fear to be felt, the very emotion holding you down in the third dimension. I'm here, Mother Gaia, across all dimensions for you. Remember that you can have a significant effect on your reality around you, calming the storms and releasing their energy before they happen, calming the volcanoes and the earthquakes, releasing their energy into the atmosphere and into space before they happen, And as everything happens on this earth, allow that fire in your belly to release. Allow your love to be shone into your heart. Bring to the table of your heart love, compassion, equality, forgiveness. It's your time to truly release. This is the new age of humanity. And I invite you all of you, have a home in the fifth dimension earth. All of you. I am here, always, your mother. Keep talking with me. I love you. Wow. Thank you, Mother Gaia. So humbling after I've rabbited on for an hour. We all have a home in the fifth dimension. And if you choose it, why not put it in the comments? Say, I choose this fifth dimension with an open heart and love for all humanity. Let's bring this session to an end, thanking our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, and every soul that's participated in today's session. Please remain in your individual protective bubbles and leave the shared space as I close the shared space down, tidy up its energy, and return it to Source, or never return here again. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Please get plenty of rest. Drink as much water as it feels right for you. Do have a good watch through the different videos I mentioned in my predictions videos. They'll appear somewhere here and somewhere down here. Do subscribe, add your comments, and also explore my website, free meditations. This is a 14-day spirit guide meditations challenge. How could I have a video without mentioning it? Click on the Get Started with John. There's also the 5-day ascension classes, live streams, training courses, and of course, I do loads of one-to-one bookings. So please do book a service with me and help support me and my mission to help you guys, to help us all to live and flourish in whichever dimension we choose. Thank you so much. I'm sending my love from Scotland. I love you. I love you.